This is just a very quick video about the Science of Cambridge MK14 computer. If, like me, you grew up in the 70s and 80s and were interested in electronics, then you are no doubt familiar with this advert. I, for one, remember sitting for hours looking at this, didn't have the money to buy it, but always wanted one, never got one. That is until fairly recently, when fortunately I started reproducing vintage PCBs, devices, test equipment, and now I'm the proud owner of my own MK14. This is a result of a project to make the PCB available again. You can't get the originals. There are a few reproductions available online, but they seem to be a bit hit and miss as to whether they're available or not. So I've made these available long term on my website. You can buy bare board. It's gold plated. It's the exact layout of the original Mark 1 MK14, so that's the version 1 of the MK14. The parts are relatively easy to get hold of. The only deviation I made from the original was in the design around the buttons. The length of the keys is identical, the spacing, the position on the board, but what's different is I moved away from the need for the kind of rubber pad type keyboard. It never really worked on the original, and obviously I would have had to reproduce that keypad membrane as well, which would have made it quite an expensive project for anyone wanting to build one. So what I've done instead is make the footprints for mechanical key switches, but rather than just leaving it up to the builder to find something suitable to indicate which switch is which, and also to keep it as authentic as I could. So if we look back at the original advert, you can see there's a frame around the keys, but inside it was just a rubber membrane pad type arrangement. So I tried to make this look as similar as I could, but inside there are actual key switches. So if required, I can also supply the frame and the insert as well. So this just essentially pops over the keys, and as long as you use the type of switch that the board was designed for, then the whole thing sits quite nicely and the keys work extremely well and they're reliable. I will be doing some follow-up videos on this to show you the MK14 working, run a few programs, and for anyone that's interested or nostalgic about this sort of device, then you might find it interesting.